Hi guys, welcome to Dreame Writing Academy. I am Heather Griffin, the tutor of Dreame Writing courses. After finding a writing idea and designing your characters, we now move on to a very important part, designing the synopsis. I will spend the following 2 weeks talking about this topic, and today I'm going to focus on how to determine the main plots. But first, I would like to do a little survey about this topic. How long do you usually spend on writing a synopsis? A synopsis is a fiction's frame, and before we start writing our stories, it's necessary to spend some time designing them. It is especially crucial for beginners to have a synopsis. They help writers comb through their thoughts and make sure that you do not steer away from your path during the writing process that is to come. Now, sometimes as we are writing, we might have thoughts that replace what we had planned that just suddenly come to us. Now, when this happens, make sure to include your new inspiration in your synopsis. Don't get whimsical and write whatever you like. Although writing is a creative process, a story needs a logical and well-structured synopsis. For today's topic, we will review the first step in synopsis writing. Determine the main plot point. Number 1. What is main plot? Well, the word plot has multiple definitions, one of which is the structured events that are significant and changeable, which arouse people's interest and suspense in accordance with certain ordered events. To better understand the definition, let's focus on 3 key words: events, order, and change. Those 3 words can also be exchanged into 3 questions. Those questions would be, what significant events happen in your story? What is the order of events? And how do these events influence or change your characters and the general storyline? Well, stories consist of one event happening after another. And without events, a story couldn't exist, right? So before you start writing a synopsis, I want you to think about the main events in your novel, such as important turning events and twists. As main events, they must alter the emotions or fates of characters and advance the story's development. The main plot must reveal the change in a character's identification or emotions or fates. Also, introduce new conflicts. Lead to desperation or hope. Enhance a sense of nervousness and suspense. Okay, so now we know the features of main plots, and our next step is how to determine them. Our second focus, how to determine main plots. We can divide a story into 4 simple parts: a beginning, development, climax, and an ending. From these parts, approximately 6 to 8 main plots will be required. At this point, just focus on the significant conflicts in the plot. Each one of your main plots must fill at least 3 chapters. To help you finalize your main plots, I want you to think about the following questions. In the beginning, what difficulties will your male and female protagonists face? How do the male and female protagonists meet? How does the relationship between female and male protagonists change? What conflicts or controversies do the villains have with the male and female protagonists? How do the villains create problems for the male and female protagonists? How will the male and female protagonists change? And what is the ending for the male and female protagonists? Regarding change, the following materials can be used as reference: loss versus reward, problem versus solution, secrets versus uncover secrets, questions versus answers, conflicts versus reconciliation, danger versus safety, chaos versus order, and dilemma versus decision. And besides those, there are a lot of changes you can use in your writing. What other changes come to your mind? We can make this list together. Number 3, an example of designing a main plot. For better understanding on this topic, Let's design a synopsis of a werewolf story together. The female protagonist we will call Emily, so we're going to title this story Emily for convenience. Its common main plot events are as follows. Main plot 1. Emily gets in trouble. The female protagonist, Emily, is a member of the Moon Pack. She fails to transform at her coming-of-age ceremony, which was a disappointment to her parents and her friends. Emily hoped her mate would show up soon and help her out. Main plot number 2. Emily meets her mate, but is rejected. At a party where different wolf packs are in attendance, Emily meets the alpha, Sam, who comes from the biggest wolf pack in the north. He is young and handsome. Every girl admires him. As Emily makes a laborious effort to find her mate, Sam charges over. The wolves inside their bodies confirm that they are each other's mates, but Sam rejects Emily, which breaks her heart. Main plot number 3, Emily meets her mate again and fights with him. Emily is bullied and rejected by the Moon Pack, so she has to leave her hometown and go to a werewolf university along the northern border. To her surprise, she meets Sam again. The campus is attacked by mountain wolf packs, and Sam and Emily get together to investigate the incident and defend the school. For our main plot number 4, the relationship between Emily and Sam begins to change, and a mystery appears. Emily is injured and goes into a coma after a battle with mountain wolves. Sam spares no effort to save Emily. He realizes that he does indeed have special feelings for her. The wolf in Sam's body is eager to have Emily, and he gets restless. He finds out the mysterious wolf pack's real target is Emily, so he protects her by keeping her in his room. He won't allow her to leave, and then he goes out on his own to find out the truth. Main plot number 5, the mystery is revealed. Sam infiltrates the territory of the mysterious wolf. He learns that Emily is from a rare werewolf lineage. She will gain some sort of mysterious power when the wolf inside her body wakes up. Emily will go through a chaotic period after her transformation. If the enemy can suppress Emily during that period, they can control her and use her power to attack other wolf packs. Sam secretly leaves the territory of the enemy, and after he returns, he plans to tell Emily the truth. He wants to use his power to wake the wolf inside Emily's body. Then we move on to our main plot number 6, the final battle between villains and Emily and Sam. Emily wakes up from a coma. She misunderstands Sam's protection and thinks that he is keeping her as his prisoner. She quietly bypasses the guard and leaves campus, only to be caught by their opponents. In an attempt to wake the wolf inside her body, they make her take drugs. Sam gets desperately worried when he realizes that Emily is gone. He leaves to look for her, but by the time he finds her, she has gone through her first transformation, and she is in a chaotic state. Sam turns into a werewolf, defeats his enemies, and takes Emily away. And then our main plot number 7, all the difficulties are resolved, and Emily and Sam reach the happy ending. After her transformation, Emily is irritable. Sam comforts her with his body. Finally, Emily succeeds and becomes a white wolf with gorgeous fur. Emily is exhausted, and she falls into Sam's arms. He keeps her warm with his body until she wakes up. Sam clears up Emily's misunderstandings, and he brings her back to his pack, which confirms that she is his Luna. As you can see, if you connect the main plots, you will have a complete story. Many exciting details can be extended from each plot point. Different writers can write a story from 100,000 words to 200,000 words, based upon this one example. Surely there are a lot of details that need to be fleshed out. For example, how do Emily and Sam meet? How does Sam fall for Emily? And we want to know that step by step. And what is Emily's superpower? There are still some problems also that we need to solve, and we will address them in the following courses. In this course, think carefully about what main plots you want to have in your story. What is the order of events? And what change will they bring to the characters and the novel itself? Give it a try. Use your imagination to design at least 4 main plots for your story. It's best to include the ideas and characters you developed in our last course. Your plots should not be a complete story, but they should contain conflicts and changes. So I want you to give it a try, share it in the comments section, and get your writing points. Here are the notes for you, and I hope you enjoy this course. Thank you.